And on cue, young Hosanna has made an appearance. He's just come out of the bush right next to us to come greet his mother. And well, actually, looks like he's more interested in the impala that she has stashed in the bush behind him. Now, of course, this is our favorite leopard here on Djuma, and probably the female leopard that most of our viewers have spent the most time with, Queen Karula, the peaceful one, the incredible mother, the silent assassin, the huntress. At the moment, the dozer, fast asleep. Now, I wonder if young Hosanna starting to feed is going to bring out his sister, little Shongile. Okay, we're just going to reposition so we can maybe get a better view of him feeding. So it looks like they might have eaten quite a bit of it. Hopefully they've eaten enough that Karula might be able to hoist this carcass shortly. When I say hoist, I mean carry up a tree to protect it from other predators. The nkuhumas are still on Djuma, hyenas are around, and the possibility that even another male leopard like Tingana might expropriate the carcass from them. Now, Zander, if you look behind you, there's another animal here. And it could get quite interesting if the elephants keep feeding in this direction. They might chase the leopards. The leopards are far too quick for the elephants to get hold of in normal circumstances. There we go. Oh, and there was a bird. Didn't see it landed. So we're definitely in the right spot today. Now, little Shongile, the female cub, has just popped her head up, Zander. There she is. You see her through there? Oh, she's popping her head down again. She's got a nice shady spot next to us there. Oh, she's going to go play stalk the elephant for fun. Who knows? Young leopards do strange things. Let's see if she pops up around the corner. Otherwise, she might find a spot in the shade to snooze there. Of course, all these leopards are quite well fed at the moment, isn't she? Can you see her there? Oh, she might have gone for a snooze. I'll keep my eye on that part of the world. And Queen Karula is up and listening to the elephants. Now, Karula is probably one of the most successful female leopards when it comes to raising cubs that I've ever encountered in my years in the bush. Tracy in the UK is wondering exactly how successful Queen Karula is. Well, Tracy, I think I'm going to need a bit of help from our long-time viewers for that one. And to how many cubs has Karula had? Now, that I know of, she's lost one, but that she could have always lost a cub without us finding it. You never know. And let me just try to remember. First litter, Shadow and Tundi. I think there's two. Oh, I think Shavambalan, Shavinzi, I don't know where they fit in, but that's 4. Quarantine, Konuma, Hosanna, Shongile, we're on 8. Now, I know Shavambalan, I think, had a sister. So that's 10 that I know of. But I could be incorrect, plus 11 with one that she lost to hyenas. But I'm sure some of our long-time viewers are going to help me out now and let me know. Well, very interesting update I got I just got to be on the game drive radio for a second. Afternoon, Andrew. Yeah, we're out one station with Karula and Cubs. Make your way, Andrew. You can see there's Karula panting away. It's quite warm, 27 degrees Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit. Sorry, the radio is just very busy. Everyone's... there we go. Laura says, I've forgotten Mishu and Nduna. So that puts us at 13 cubs that we know about. I think that's about it. And Karula is 11, turning 12 this year, if I remember correctly. So that's not a bad run. The majority of those were raised to adulthood. Now, of Karula's offspring that we still see, of course, Shadow and Tandi, Quarantine, and Shivambalan. So we see 4 out of those 13. And I can't remember what Shivambalan's sister's name was. Could it have been Shivinzi? Shivinzi, yes, there we go. So let's start again there. So we've got Shadow and Tandi. We've got Shivambalan, Shivinzi. Misha and Duna was second, then Shivambalan, Shivinzi. Then Quarantine, no, am I missing someone here? Then Quarantine, Kunyuma. Then a cub that died. And now these 2 little gems, Hosana and Shungile. No, I've forgotten 2 somewhere. I think I've forgotten 2 somewhere. Okay, let's start again. Shadow Tandi, Mishu and Duna, Shivambalan Shivinzi. It must be a Quarantine Kunyuma, a cub that died. So it's 11 cubs. Now, as far as I know, almost all of those cubs have made it to adulthood, which is incredible. When your average leopard female in the Sabi Sands has a 70% success rate at rearing cubs to a year old. And the other predator density around here is immense. I mean, we've got all those lions and Cormians, the Birminghams, lots of hyenas, lots of other leopards as well. Now, talking about cubs making it to adulthood, there's a lot of threats that face them. And as I said, the biggest threat is, of course, nomadic male leopards. And they, out of the recorded mortalities, they make up about 70% of cub deaths under a year. Now, I've seen some quite strange things eat leopard cubs over the years. And why don't you guys see if you can guess some of the stranger mortality reasons for leopard cubs, and we'll keep it to the Sabi Sands. So only ones I've experienced here and nowhere else. And you can send me what you think some of those stranger ones might be to questions@WildEarthTV, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Now, Julia in Houston is wondering, I think Karula is so successful because she hunts a lot during the day. Julia, that could definitely play a part. Obviously, there's a lot less competition from other predators during the day. I just think she could be a very good mother. Now, if we look at her and her daughter, Shadow, who in comparison to Karula is an absolutely horrible mother, and she has only raised one cub to adulthood, and that was almost not to adulthood, and that of course is young Sindile. So it's very interesting. I mean, theoretically, if she was brought up by Karula, who's one of the best mothers we know, and Shadow is probably one of the worst mothers that we know. I mean, let me just think about the other female leopards. I know another very good mother in this part of the world is, what's her name? I've seen her to the west. Oh, it'll come to me now. I can picture her. Salahesh. Not quite sure how many cubs she's raised to adulthood, but she is known as a particularly good mother. And Tundi is raised, I know of a female cub to adulthood, and another male cub called Bahuti. I'm not sure of any others. And Kanyen, I'm not sure if she's raised any to adulthood yet. I actually think she probably has, I just don't know about them. And a female leopard who died, Kwatile. I know she's raised at least 2 to adulthood. Mind Warp, well done. One of the stranger cub mortalities I know about in the Sabi Sands is indeed the African rock python. Now, they killed the cubs of a very famous leopard in the south. Oh, look at him. Of the Sabi Sands. When they were very young, they were a couple of, well, less than 2 weeks old. Karula's heads up. The Ellies might move through here. They are getting a bit closer. We can just see the trees moving behind us. But yes, African rock python ate the 3-4 females cubs at a place called Python Rock on the border of Dudley and Londolozi. Now we can hear those elephants feeding behind us. Karula just keeping a watchful eye. They don't really pose any threat to them as much as more of an irritation, and chase them around. Well, we can hear a red-chested cuckoo in the background as well. There's an elephant who's come up to the open behind us there. Let's see if they move. I'm going to keep an eye on them, see if they move this way. So SP Nathan is wondering, do elephants attack leopards? They'll chase them like they will chase lions or wild dogs or hyenas. They're not fond of predators, even though the predators might not actually pose a real threat to them. So yes, they do attack leopards. No, I'm sure Karula's hoping that the elephants don't move. Oh, look at him. He's getting really stuck in there. He's trying to be strong and pull the carcass. You see, I think if I go slightly forward, it might be a slightly better view for you there, Ed. Good. You can go a little bit more if you want. One little branch in the way there, so let's try that. We were lucky enough to see Karula take down a duiker alive, and then she went off to fetch the cubs, and on her way back she killed an adult male impala. Aren't you a clever girl, Karula? So yes, Rain, it is indeed another kill. The duiker kill is probably about 400 meters to the north of us. So if hyenas happen to steal this one or it gets finished, she's probably just going to move on to the next one. If we have a look at the carcass there now, you can actually see, there we go, it's a big impala. That's probably why she hasn't hoisted it. You can see the male's horns. It's an adult male impala. Welcome, welcome, welcome from Surrey all the way to the African bush, and I'm sitting next to a female leopard who's got 2 cubs, and she's killed an adult male impala overnight, and the little cubs are feeding. My name is Brent, and I have Zander on camera with me, and isn't this incredible? You are able to join me live in the African bush with these incredible leopards. There's the mom. Mom's lying there. She's eaten quite a bit of this impala. And yeah, the little male is feeding the male cub. The female cub, there she is. She's actually stalking some elephants which are just behind us. She's being naughty. So there she is over there. Left a bit. Base of the big tree. There we go. Yeah, that's the little female cub. Her name is Shongile, which means exquisitely beautiful. And that she is. And even at this young age, the female cub is going to be showing more independence than the male. She'll probably leave her mother at a younger age than the male and set up her own territory. Oh, whoa, Amelie. Now, that's a difficult question. How many spots does a leopard normally have? Well, Amelie, let's have a look. Why don't you try count them? I'm only joking, of course. I don't know, Amelie, to be honest. And I've never counted the individual spots on a leopard. Now, how we identify leopards quite often, especially with leopards we don't know too well, if we just till one looks at us. So let's look at the little boy, because he's facing us. He's actually going to walk towards us. The looks of things, smelling around. Now, if we have a look, you can see his wonderful long whiskers there. And just above his whiskers, there's a line of spots. You can see them quite distinctly there. And he is a 3-3. So each individual leopard has its own unique spot pattern, just like that, like a fingerprint in humans, and that's how we and scientists generally differ leopards apart, from that line of spots just above the last line of whiskers. Now you can see 3 individual spots and 3 individual spots, and that is Hosanna, and that is the little male cub, and it means the little. And his sister is a 4-3. Welcome back. Sorry guys about the signal breakup. We are live from the African bush, so sometimes we do have a few little hiccups. But there we go. You can see this is the young male cub. He's finished feeding and he's busy giving himself a bath. Isn't he just too beautiful? So I think as we disappeared, someone asked how old these cubs are. They were born on the 2nd of February 2016. I was lucky enough to see them when they were a few hours old for the first time. So what is that? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. They're 8 months old now. Oh, he's tired now. He's got a full belly. So he's going to have a snooze. Now, leopards more often sleep for up to 18 hours a day, and just depending, and especially when they've got a kill close by, lots of meat. Now, I'm hoping their mom puts the kill in the tree. It's a bit heavy for her when she first caught it. It's an adult male impala. She weighs probably around 45 kilograms, 90 pounds or so, and that impala probably weighs 130 pounds. Hi Lucy. Lucy would like to know, when was the first time I saw a leopard? Well, Lucy, I'm very lucky. I've lived in the bush my whole life, and I probably saw, the first time I saw a leopard, I probably can't even remember. I was probably a baby. But the first time I can actually remember seeing a leopard, I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. And the first time I saw a leopard by myself walking in the bush, I was about 14. Since then I've been very lucky. I've seen lots and lots of leopards. Hi Caitlin. Caitlin would like to know, is their fur very soft? Well, their underbelly fur is quite soft, but their fur has to be a little bit coarse, and a little bit rough, because it's part of their protection. And just remember, a leopard has to walk through thorns and sticks and lots of things. So that underbelly there, that fur is quite soft, but the rest of the fur is quite rough. You can see he's breathing very heavily because he's got a full belly. Remember, if you eat a lot and don't you feel hot after you have a big meal, that's exactly what he's feeling at the moment. Well, let's go see what his sister's doing. It's been wonderful having you guys with us. I wish I could have gone and watched safaris instead of doing all my schoolwork, but hopefully we'll see you again on the live safari, and bye for now. Let's have one last look at that little female leopard. Okay, welcome back everyone, and that was the first time a school from Surrey has been with us. We're still sitting with Karula and the Cubs. The Cubs are snoozing, but it looks like Karula's made her way back towards the carcass to start feeding, so let's head that way. sort of showing a little bit more independence. Hosanna, even where she decides to lie and stuff like that. Oh. Standing by. FM, man. Here we go. So Karula has moved onto the carcass. Oh, look. Where are you off to? Oh, he's gone down to lie in the sand where we were just parked. Lying down in the cool sand. Oh, Karula's just removed the stomach from the carcass. She might be preparing to hoist it. Hi, Alison. Alison's wondering, how long do leopard cubs stay with their mums? Well, it's all dependent. Male cubs stay generally quite a lot longer with their mum. They sometimes even up to 2.5 years. Females are normally independent by about 18 months, but the youngest record of a leopard cub being completely independent of its mother was 9 months old. That is unusual. So normally females 15 to 18 months they'll become independent. Males 2 to 3 years. To be having a few gremlins this